Welcome to ELWYEEN. I'm your host, and our goal here is simple: to help you decode the way we think. In this space, we explore the intersection of psychology, marketing, and the English language to help you understand your own mind. Tonight, we explore the productivity paradox, the strange reality that sometimes, the harder you work, the less you actually achieve. Let's dive into the quiet world of 2 a.m. Take a look at the clock on your wall or your phone. It is currently 2 a.m. While the rest of the world is wrapped in the silence of sleep, I know many of you are still wide awake. I can see you. You're leaning into the glow of your laptop. Your eyes are a little bit red and tired. Maybe you are a student, trying so hard to remember a long list of new words for your IELTS exam next week. 2. Maybe you are a marketing professional, staying up late to finish a report or a video script for your team. Because the deadline is tomorrow morning and you feel a lot pressure. Or perhaps you're just lost in the infinite scroll of TikTok or Facebook in the dark, feeling a mix of being tired, worried, and guilty. Think about the last time you stayed up late to work or study. Do you remember that feeling? It was a strange sense of pride. As the house went silent and the world outside disappeared, you saw the blue light from the screen reflecting off your eyes, and you thought to yourself, I am working harder than everyone else. I'm a warrior. Or they are sleeping and being lazy. I am building my future. This is what success looks like. We live in a world that makes sleep look like a bad thing. We treat sleep like a waste of time, or a weakness that we need to defeat. We see hustle famous people on LinkedIn or YouTube posting about how they wake up at 3 a.m. every day. They tell us that sleep is for the weak, and it makes us feel genuinely bad or guilty for wanting a basic human need. 7 or 8 hours of rest. 2. This is what we call hustle culture, a culture where people think you are only a good worker if you are always exhausted. This environment creates a big mental trap. This trap makes us believe that being busy is the same thing as being successful. Scientists call this a cognitive bias. You can think of a cognitive bias as a small glitch, or a mistake in your brain's computer system. It makes your brain take a shortcut. It sees the heroic image of a person working late at night and it believes a lie just because it looks cool or brave. You start to believe a very dangerous idea that the more hours you spend sitting at your desk, the more value you are creating for your life. But here is the cold, honest truth. You aren't building a great future at 2 a.m. You are simply hurting your most important tool, your brain. Every hour of sleep you give up doesn't make you a hero. Actually makes you less smart, less creative, and much more likely to make big mistakes the next morning. You think you are winning the race, but you are actually making your brain slower and slower, 1 hour at a time. It's like trying to drive a car when the engine is out of oil. You can push the gas pedal as hard as you want, but the car is not going to go faster. It's just going to brake. Now, let's pause for our first practice session. This is how we change these ideas into real language skills. I want you to repeat the following sentence 3 times during the silence. The first time, just listen to how I say the words. The second time, focus on the speed. The third time, try to say it like you really believe it. 4. The important word here is glorify. 2. Glorify something means to make it look much better and more important than it really is. Target sentence. We live in a hustle culture that often glorifies sleep deprivation as a badge of honor. Yet this lifestyle is fundamentally unsustainable. You can say that sentence clearly. You are doing a great job. You are learning how to talk about big problems in a simple and clear way. You aren't just learning words. You're learning how to think about the world differently. Now, let's look at what is actually happening inside your head when you choose to stay awake and skip your sleep. Why does staying up late actually make you feel less smart the next day? To understand this, we need to look at how your brain handles memory. Imagine your brain is a high-tech factory that works 24 hours a day. During the day, while you are awake and moving around, Your job is to be a collector. You gather raw materials all day long. These materials can be anything: a new set of English words, some marketing data for your company, or new ideas for a project you are working on. All of these pieces of information are sent to a very small, special part of your brain called the hippocampus. Think of the hippocampus as your brain's temporary inbox, or like a very small USB drive. It is very good at catching information quickly, but it has one big problem. It is very, very small. It doesn't have much room. By 11 p.m., after a long day of talking to people, reading emails, and learning new things, your inbox is completely full. It is packed to the ceiling with boxes of data. Now, this is where many of us make a big mistake. We think, I'll just work for 2 more hours. I'll read 20 more pages of this book. But, because your inbox is already full, that new information has nowhere to go. It's like trying to pour a whole bottle of water into a cup that is already full. The water doesn't stay in the cup. It just spills over the floor and is lost forever. This is why you can read the same sentence 5 times at 1 a.m. and you still don't know what it means. Your brain is waterlogged. Simply cannot take in any more information. So, how do we make more room for tomorrow? To clear that temporary inbox so you can learn more the next day. Your brain must move these files out of the hippocampus and into a big, permanent storage vault. This vault is called the cortex. This amazing process is what scientists call consolidation. You can think of consolidation as the glue of learning. It's the process of taking weak, temporary memories and sticking them into your permanent knowledge so they stay there for a long time. But here is the most important part, the part that the hustle gurus never tell you. This file transfer only happens when you are in a deep sleep. Sleep is not off time for your brain. In fact, your brain is very busy during sleep. Sleep is processing time. It is the only time the brain's workers can come in to move the boxes from the small inbox to the big warehouse. If you don't sleep, your memories stay trapped in that tiny, temporary inbox. And because your brain needs to be ready for the next morning, it has to clear that inbox. So, if it can't move the files to the warehouse because you are awake, it does something terrible. It deletes the files. It throws the boxes into the trash. This is what we call the productivity paradox. The paradox is that the more hours you spend grinding and working late at night, the less your brain actually remembers. You might feel like you're working hard, but you are actually erasing your own hard work. You wake up the next morning feeling like your brain was factory reset, and you find yourself having to learn the exact same things all over again. You are like a person running on a treadmill at the gym. You are moving very fast. You are sweating and you feel tired, but you are staying in the exact same place. You are not moving forward. It's time for our second language workshop. To talk about these ideas, we can use a special type of sentence. We are going to practice a structure that starts with had I. This is a very professional way to say, if I had. If you use this correctly, you will sound very confident and smart in English. We will repeat this 3 times. The first time, focus on the word had at the beginning. The second time, try to say the words prioritized and rest together smoothly. 2. The third time, say it like you are a teacher explaining something important. Our keyword is consolidated, which means to make something strong and permanent. Target sentence. Had the individual prioritized rest over late-night labor, the hippocampus would have effectively consolidated those memories into long-term storage. You did a great job. You see, you not just learning English, you're learning how to protect your time and your health. You are learning how to be truly successful. Now, in the next section, we're going to talk about a part of your brain that is even more dangerous than a full inbox. We're going to meet the emotional rebel that wakes up when you stay awake, the amygdala. Now that we understand how sleep loss destroys your memory factory, let's talk about something even more dangerous. We need to talk about how staying awake changes your perception. which is the way you see and react to everything around you. Have you ever noticed that after a late night, you get angry at small things? Maybe someone sends you a message that is a little bit rude and you feel like shouting. Or maybe you find yourself impulsively buying things on Shopee, Lazada, or TikTok shop at midnight that you don't actually need. This is not a coincidence. This is a biological takeover of your mind. To understand this, imagine there are two main characters living inside your head. The first character is the rational CEO. This character lives in the front of your brain. He's the one in charge of logic, long-term planning, and saying no to bad ideas. He is the one who tells you to save money for your future. The second character is the emotional rebel, also known as the amygdala. This is a very old, primitive part of the brain. The amygdala doesn't care about the future. It only cares about big emotions like fear, anger, and immediate pleasure. In a normal, well-rested brain, the rational CEO is strong and healthy. He keeps the emotional rebel under control. But when you are tired and sleep-deprived, the CEO goes on vacation. He is too exhausted to work. This leaves the amygdala, the emotional rebel, to take the wheel of your car. When this happens, you become hyperreactive. This means your emotions become much stronger than usual. Studies show that when you haven't slept, your amygdala becomes 60% more active. You feel more stressed, more anxious, and you lose your ability to control your impulses. Fear. This is exactly what big brands and marketing agencies want. As a marketing professional myself, I can tell you a secret. The industry loves your tired brain. They know that a tired brain is a brain that cannot say no. Have you noticed that flash sales and midnight deals always happen when you should be sleeping? This is because marketers know your rational CEO is offline. They know your amygdala is looking for a quick hit of happiness because you feel tired and sad. You stop being a smart consumer and you become a predictable target. You think you were making a choice to buy that new gadget or those clothes, but you were actually just reacting to exhaustion. The word impair is very important here. Sleep loss impairs your judgment. It makes you vulnerable. You aren't buying things because you want them. You are buying them because your brain is too tired to stop you. Now, let's pause for our third practice session. We will practice a sentence that explains this cause and effect relationship. I want you to repeat this 3 times. The first time, focus on the word impair, which means to weaken or damage. The second time, focus on the balance of the sentence. The third time, try to say it with a calm, analytical voice. Target sentence. Not only does sleep deprivation impair our cognitive functions, but it also renders us vulnerable to impulsive and irrational behaviors. Excellent work. The word renders is a very professional word. It means to cause someone to be in a certain state. By learning this, you are learning how to describe how the world tries to manipulate your mind. So, how do we escape this trap? How do we stop being the person who works all night but achieves very little? 2. It starts with a change in your identity. You need to stop being proud of how many hours you stay awake. Instead, start being proud of how sharp and effective you are during the day. Think of sleep not as wasted time, but as a performance hack. It is a professional maintenance period that keeps your brain running at 100% capacity. 2. Fix this, we need to mitigate the problem. To mitigate means to make a bad situation better or less serious. Here are 2 very simple, but very powerful hacks you can start using tonight to protect your brain. First, create an 18-degree sanctuary. Science tells us that your body temperature needs to drop a little bit to start a deep sleep. This is why it is almost impossible to sleep well in a room that is too hot. If you can, keep your bedroom cool, around 18 to 20 degrees Celsius. Think of it like cooling down a computer or a phone that has become too hot. When the environment is cool, your brain can finally begin the process of repairing itself. Second, start a digital sunset. This is the most important rule for the modern world. 1 hour before you want to go to sleep, You must turn off the blue light, ELWYEEN. This is the light that comes from your phone, your tablet, and your laptop. This light is a liar. It tells your brain that the sun is still up, which stops your body from creating melatonin, the hormone that makes you feel sleepy. By turning off your phone an hour before bed, you are creating a sunset for your mind. You are telling your brain, it is safe to go to sleep now. It is time to recover. When you choose to reclaim your sleep, you are not being lazy. You are actually being a hyper. You are choosing to be the smartest, fastest, and most creative version of yourself tomorrow. You are learning to outsmart the hustle culture and build a life that is actually sustainable, which means a life that can last for a long time without breaking. Let's do our final practice for today. We will use two very good words: mitigate and detrimental. Detrimental is just a professional way to say harmful. Please repeat this 3 times. Target sentence. By implementing a digital sunset, we can mitigate the detrimental effects of blue light on our daily performance and long-term health. You've done an amazing job today. You have finished a deep dive into the psychology of how we think and how we work. Before you put your phone down tonight, I want you to ask yourself one last question. Is staying awake for 1 more hour really worth losing my intelligence tomorrow? I hope you choose your brain. I hope you choose sleep. Think for joining me on ELWYEEN Decode, the way we think. Turn off the lights, take a deep breath, and let your brain start its recovery. Good night.